Hi, welcome to another episode. My name is Zaben, and I'm here to explain to you today something very insightful that came to me while I'm meditating, and it was just the notion of human being. So, what is a human being? Now, we all know, a human being is a person, is not a cat, but a human being is a person, right? So I went into the dictionary and I looked into human, and basically it was just saying exactly what I just said, which is a human is a form, right? It's a form to differentiate from a cat, a dog, an insect, right? It's just a form to differentiate what this form is. And it was interesting to see the word form, right? And then it said including the body and the mind, which made a lot of sense, right? So the human, when we say human, it's a form that includes a body and a mind, right? Now, the interesting part comes in when being shows up. So I'm going to read the little notes I took from the dictionary and the vocabulary.com and all that. A being is any living creature from human to person. From human to even an insect, right? So a being is any living creature from a human to an insect, meaning that anything that is alive here, whether it's an insect, a cat, or a human, they're all defined as beings, right? Another definition, a state of existing. Being is a state of just existing. It's an existence, right? Things that exist are in a state of being. Being is alive, right? Any entity that is believed to be divine. So a being is a fact of existing. Whoa! So how cool is that? We are in this incredible paradigm shift, this great earth awakening, this crazy energy that is reminding us of our being. Why? Because we have just spent so many years learning how human functions, right? We were like enthralled with, look at this body, it's so cool, let me make it pretty, let me make it ugly, let me make it fat, thin, short, let me work with the body all the time, right? And we were enthralled with the brain, wow, what is this thing that gives us ideas and thoughts and all this wonderful stuff? And so we disconnected from our being, which is existence, which is everything that is alive on this planet is in a state of being, therefore existing. So being means I exist, right? Because the minute we die or anything dies, what happens? The being leaves the body or the form it has lived in. It leaves the form. The minute it leaves the form, what happens? There's no more existence. That form has ceased to exist, right? Are you all connecting the dots now, right? So the form has ceased to exist once the being leaves, right? The being left. Now, even when we talk about angelic realms or the spiritual world or all of that, or ET or, aliens, we talk about them as beings, even there, right? So beings is existing, right? Is life itself, right? A being is life itself. And so my form, this body, my humanness cannot exist. There's no life in it without my being, right? So we need to be human beings, right? The beings within the human to let that human exist, okay? So where am I going with that? You're all like, okay, this is so cool. What am I going to do with this information? The cool part about this information, because a lot of my own self-discoveries and own awakenings are understanding, who am I? Like, how did I pop here and then I pop out? Like, who am I? And that's like the thing that's shifting within me is really wanting to get to know me. And who is this me that I call me? So in saying that human being, now you understand why we have them combined, right? Because the human has a wonderful body and a beautiful mind, right? But none of this would function if there was no being somewhere inside, right? Or outside or above or below. We don't know. It's just this being that allows this to exist and move and think and do, right? So it's the being within us that is the most important aspect of being a human. There we go, being a human, right? It's the most important aspect. Without the being, my human form would not move, think, act. It wouldn't have a heartbeat. There would be no vein, no blood moving in the vein. There would be nothing. It would be nothing, right? But my being is everything. So because we're moving from a realm of the mind is the most important thing and the body's the most important thing, this form is the only thing that matters, and every form around me matters, and this form wants more forms in its life, right? That the being was forgotten. And we are at a time where the being needs to be remembered, because it's the being that is actually really me, the being who is really you. Oh, this is so profound. That being is what is moving me now. So when we feel certain emotions, like let's say you felt sad, angry, depressed, hurt, anything that you are feeling, it's not you that are feeling it, it's your humanness, the human you, that is feeling it. So it's not I am depressed, right? Because when we have a feeling, it's due to the brain thinking a thought, providing us with a thought. Thoughts are fleeting. They're just like a movie, like you're watching a movie, like, oh, there it goes, here it comes again, there's another one, right? They're just thoughts. When our humanness looks at the thought that's floating by us, it provides us with a body sensation inside that feels. So the body feels, the mind projects an image or a translation of the world, right? So in both scenarios, the mind and the body are letting the being that I am experience either this feeling or the thought, right? Is experiencing two worlds. It's experiencing sensation and experiencing a projected image, right? Which is a thought, right? The being who I am is experiencing both. So now I am sad. I am angry. You're not. Because who you really are is the being, right? Therefore, you're experiencing you, the real you, the being you, is experiencing the sensations right? Of feeling something and thinking something. So a good way to start bringing the space between your human being and being, I'm a human and a being, I'm two as one, but I'm not the human, I'm the being, right? So a good way to do that is, instead of just going around moping saying, oh, I'm angry, I am this, I am mad, I am sad, I am hurt, I am not worthy, I am unlovable. No, that cannot be you, right? That is just your experience and the sensations you're going through. So you say, I am feeling sad. Air comes in between. I am experiencing a bad thought. Ooh, so I'm not the thought. I'm the being experiencing the thought, right? Another example here I wrote, I am thinking a bad thought. I am thinking that I am financially screwed. It's a thought. I am, the real me, the being, is not financially screwed. But the thought, the experience, I'm thinking financially screwed. The thoughts come, my future, I'm going to be broke. And I see that image, I project things, I feel fear and panic, right? I'm experiencing the human me, experiencing them. And I'm just the observer, the existence, the being. Oh, is this making sense? Because why am I saying this and why is this important? Because it is time to understand that you're more than just this form, right? We need to really dive deeply in and remember who we are, right? We are existence, right? We are these beings here, being like, oh, this is cool. What is this earth thing? Let me see what this offers. And whatever earth is offering, you're thinking and you're feeling, right? And your being is saying, hey, cool. That's how that thought makes me feel. That's how that thought makes me feel, right? So I'm getting the body sensation and the mental talk, getting aspects here that I as a being is experiencing. Now me as a being, if I can put some breathing space between my human and my being, what happens? I start to feel my being, which I had lost because I had made the human me take over, thinking that that is the only thing, right? It's so human for me is the doing, right? Because our bodies are constantly doing. They're always in action. There's always motion, right? Our thoughts are always thinking. Our bodies are always, the blood vessels are going and the heart is pumping and the air is going in and out. Like our hair is growing and our skin is falling and renewing and our nails are growing and it's just endless, right? This humanness is constantly in motion, right? So we forgot that there's a being in there that is allowing this to function. And we just need to remember to go back to our being, okay? And less of the doing, because the body's doing everything. The mind is doing all the stuff. We just want our being. We want to be so aware of our being, our true form, our true existence state, so that when we tap into that extraordinary being that we are, that connects to the divine, our creator, we get the inspired, delightful, intuitive, inspirational, call it whatever you want, to be the doing, to go into doing, right? Because then we're truly fulfilling what our being wants to experience here. We're going with the flow. We're surrendering to it instead of surrendering to our mind, right? So we've surrendered to our mind, right? All this time saying, well, the body needs to look like this and the body needs to do this. We've forgotten that there's a being in there that chose to come experience this, and the being is enjoying every minute of this, right? But now I want my being to be more in control again, to take over, to allow myself to experience differently. So therefore, it's important when you're speaking about your emotions or what you're thinking to really make sure that your language is very clear, saying, I am experiencing this. Because I'm not it. I am not sad. I am not the sadness, right? I am not the thought. I am not this thing that I've said, I am sad. No, you're not. You're the being that's experiencing sadness right now. That's all it is. And 5 minutes later, it might be turn into happiness. And 10 minutes later, it could turn into frustration, right? But you're none of those things. Make sense? Okay, so the exercise for everyone is, I am experiencing, I am feeling, I am thinking, right? So the cool part about this exercise is you get to actually voice out, or even you can do it internally, what you are going through now. So this will help differentiate things where you do become the being that's observing this, right? And you're not meshed with it. You're the being observing this. So thinking, 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 thinking. I am thinking of sad things. Right? Because I am thinking. Now I can tell, oh, this is a thought. Right? It's not me. I am experiencing, or I am feeling unhappy. I am feeling unhappy, not I am unhappy. You've added something there to say, to differentiate you between it. Now there's a gap. So try this out and see what happens internally. It becomes like a conscious awareness. You become more conscious of who you are. If you're really looking for who you are, this is a great way to start, right? Where you can just now give some breathing space. And I always say breath. Why? Because when we breathe and we breathe out and then we express it, we've already made a distance between it. There's a bit more clarity. There's a difference between my being and the humanness that I am. What do you think? Okay, so I'll leave you with that. All right, so I do have Discover Your Soul Gifts workshop that's taking place on the 11th of May. Look at the link below, send me an email, let's get to know each other, and it would be wonderful to have you there. Read up about it and let me know. It would be so cool. Anyway, take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next episode.